As the numbers crossing the channel have grown, so has the pressure on the government. So now it's saying border force vessels must be ready to turn boats back and send them into French waters.
We know that coming by that route by boat is truly dangerous, a really perilous journey. And also, as people do it, they're paying people smugglers, so, illegal, organised crime gangs, giving them that money to do that. We've got to deter people from making that dangerous choice.
That change of tack has appalled some.
The reality is that these are men, women and children who are fleeing for their lives, seeking safety, wanting to rebuild their lives in the UK. And we should do what we've always done, what Prime Ministers since Winston Churchill have done, which is give them a fair hearing on UK soil.
If the British do want to turn back a boat out there, under the law, they have to do it into the protection of a receiving vessel, presumably a French vessel. But right now, France has no interest in cooperating with this policy.
Home Secretary Priti Patel met her French counterpart this week in what were described as tense talks. She threatened to withhold some of the £54 million promised to France to help police the Channel crossings. Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin tweeted that France would not accept any practices contrary to maritime law, nor any financial blackmail. The obligation to help vulnerable vessels would also make any pushback very rare, according to one union official from the UK Border Force that we spoke to.
Absolutely. If there's a person on board that's vulnerable, if the vessel is in itself vulnerable in some way, we must stop.
But some do want action, as we found on the Kent coast.
They should be sent back.
What do you think of the idea?
Well, we've paid them all that money and they're not doing anything, are they?
I mean, they're not in danger where they are. If they want to come over here, why not go through the legal channels?
They're obviously fleeing from awful situations and they've come here for a sort of respite and everything, and to turn them back is like a slap in the face.
I mean, we have to try and do our best for them, but I just get the impression that France are maybe not doing as much as they could from their end.
The Channel may be a narrow stretch of water, but the gulf between Britain and France right now is wide.
Let's pick up with Andy in Dungeness. Yes, as you say, the Gulf quite wide. Normally there's cooperation, but there doesn't seem to be much sign of that at the moment.
Absolutely not, Sian. Right now, this is a proper row that's developed, with the British saying the French aren't doing enough and the French saying the British are being unreasonable. On the money, first of all, clearly the Interior Minister believes that money has already been promised and the British would be going back on a promise if we kept any of it back. As for that policy of pushing boats back, the strange thing there is everybody seems to agree if it happened at all, it'd be very rare. The UK government says the Home Secretary herself would have to approve such an action. And you can imagine the sort of logistical difficulties that would go along with that. So we could be having a row over something that may never happen. Nevertheless, I suspect that the Home Secretary will be quite happy that the message is going out to France and to a domestic audience that she's unhappy about the situation and she wants to get tougher.
All right, Andy, thank you.